Hello everyone. Today I wanted to make a short video, a kind of tribute to Jean-Paul Belmondo, who passed away last week. And I'd like to talk about a little bit about his relationship to the French New Wave and talk about one specific movie. Of course, Belmondo made 3 films with Jean-Luc Godard, the most famous probably Breathless, a fantastic debut. Belmondo had appeared in a couple movies, but this is the movie kind of cemented his popularity, his screen persona, seen on the cover here with Gene Seberg. And he made A Woman is a Woman, a very strange musical with Godard. But he also made Pierrot Le Fou for Godard, and this is my favorite Jean-Luc Godard film, and much of the reason for that is Belmondo's terrific performance along with Anna Karenina, and it's just a fantastically varied performance by Belmondo, where he plays with this tough guy image, and it's pretty much of an indescribable movie that kind of encompasses many different genres of Hollywood movies. He also made 3 films with Jean-Pierre Melville, and although Melville is not, strictly speaking, part of the French New Wave, he certainly is that kind of independent films and very personal films, very much outside the mainstream of what was called the quality of cinema of the French film world. And if you have the Criterion Channel in the United States, they just a few days ago, they started a curated section paying tribute to Belmondo with the 3 Jean-Luc Godard films, the 3 Melville films, and I think they also included The Professional and 101 Nights, in which Belmondo just gives a cameo appearance. One of the Melville films is Magnet of Doom. I've never seen that film. Definitely want to catch that. But the movie I want to talk about specifically is this 1969 film, Mississippi Mermaid, directed by Francois Truffaut, and co-starring Catherine Deneuve. And this is a film that's based on a novel by William Irish, pseudonym for Cornell Woolrich, and it's set in a location. It begins in a location in Reunion Island, which is a real island off the coast, the southeast coast of Africa. Belmondo is playing a rich owner of a tobacco plantation and a cigarette manufacturing plant. He has no bride. He has accepted a bride through correspondence, a mail order bride who now is coming by ocean liner to Reunion Island, in which he is going to meet her and get married to her. But when she arrives, she doesn't look anything like the picture. And the bride, of course, is Catherine Deneuve. She tries to explain it away, that she sent a picture of her sister instead. But we get very quickly, little clues that, of course, this person is not the bride that Jean-Paul Belmondo's character has invited to be his bride. So the film quickly evolves into a kind of l'amour fou, crazy love, obsessive love. The novel was called Waltz into Darkness by William Irish, and many of his stories and novels were adopted into movies. One of his stories was the movie Rear Window was based on. But this is one of his stories in which his lovers, there's an inexorable march onto love and death. And it's about love as an absolute love, as something that's an ephemeral love, that's both a joy and a misery. This is a theme that Francois Truffaut was was interested in. He made a subsequent movie called The Story of Adele H. That has had a similar obsessive love story. We have echoes of Hitchcock for sure. I mean, Hitchcock Truffaut book always established as a relationship. You can't help look for the Hitchcock influences, and we see bits of Vertigo and Psycho, Marnie in the obsessive love. But the film is dedicated to Jean Renoir, and we see in the beginning where we get a little history of the island of Reunion. We get film clips from Renoir's La Marseille, which had just been restored, and Truffaut had just seen a restored print of it, and Renoir was still alive in 1969. He was quite touched by this, and Renoir was no stranger to L'Amour Fou stories himself. But the movie got very poor reception from the critics. It was Truffaut's first real box office fiasco, and some of it has to do, I guess, with the reversing of the roles, whereas Belmondo is tough guy image. He liked those movies, those action movies. He preferred to make them over the artistic French New Wave films, although in a couple of years he would produce and star in Alain René's very New Wave-ish film Stavisky. But here he's sort of, as the bride and groom, he's probably playing the bride's part, and Truffaut laughed at, chuckled at, he was the virgin in this story, cast away in this far-off island where there weren't many women available. And Deneuve is playing the tough guy role. She's the street smart. She knows what the world's about. She's cynical. She has no illusions about love. So I think the reception was marred by this role reversal, but also by the sheer star celebrity power of Belmondo and Deneuve 50 years ago. Deneuve is still with us, fortunately, but we don't feel it so intense. That's the celebrityhood that was so prevalent for these two movie actors in 1969. But there's some beautiful scenes in the film, and there's one particular one where they're sitting by the fireside, and Belmondo describes Catherine Deneuve's face as a kind of landscape. It's a very touching scene, and in the original American release, there was 13 minutes cut, and this scene was one of the ones that was cut out that really establishes Belmondo's love for Deneuve. And there's another scene that doesn't involve the love, but it's a scene where he's outside the hotel building. Belmondo is outside the hotel building of Catherine Deneuve. They've since separated. He's tracked her down, and he's going to hide out in her apartment. And he scales what appears to be like 5 stories high in this hotel. And when I saw it, when I saw it on when I recently rewatched it, I thought, well, there was no cut there from seeing Belmondo down on the sidewalk and then going up scaling up what looked to me to be a very dangerous stuntman-worthy climb. But Belmondo didn't like to be doubled in stunts, so he did it himself, and that is just an amazing sequence. So even though this film has been kind of unearthed again, and even in 1999, I was doing some research in San Francisco. They did a retrospective of Truffaut movies. Truffaut is who was so popular in his own time. He may have been the most popular commercial-wise of all the French New Wave directors, certainly in the United States. The chemistry between them nowadays, I just find it's a story of love. It's a story of beauty. beauty of two great movie stars. So for me, it's definitely part of, I'm reading a biography of Truffaut, and I think there's lots of films there to reassess, to see again today, that sort of have been lost. He's known, of course, for 400 Blows and for Jules and Jim, two huge art house hits in the United States. And the 400 Blows still has a reputation, but what about all the others? So I'll probably be looking at some of these other Truffaut movies in the coming months as well. Okay, that's my tribute to Belmondo, one of my favorite actors. It's not, I wish I could do him more justice than I've done, but Mississippi Mermaid, I think, is one of his most overlooked movies, probably because he was playing against type. Okay, thanks as always for everybody who managed to listen to me this far. I do appreciate it. Comments are welcome. You guys take care.